Before we start, may we please have a moment for silent prayers or meditation. Amen. Thank you, honorable members. This budget is conducted through hybrid means, and the normal standing rules of the legislature will apply to the debate. Before we proceed to the budget debate of vote 10, I must reiterate the ruling of the Speaker which relates to connectivity problems. The Speaker has ruled that the following measures will be adopted to try and assist members who may not be able to participate in a debate due to connectivity challenges. If a member has problems with connectivity and is unable to deliver his or her speech, the presiding officer will call the next speaker on the speaker's list so as to not to delay the proceedings. If the member regains connectivity before a response to the debate has commenced, the presiding officer will be flexible and allow the affected member to deliver his or her speech with the proviso that the member reconnects to the sitting prior the commencement of the response to the debate. Secondly, we request that a member who is scheduled to participate in a debate should arrange for a fellow party member to be on standby to read the member's speech into the record should the need arise. The presiding officer will allow a fellow party member to read out the speech on behalf of a member who is unable to deliver his or her own speech. If all interventions fail and a member is still unable to deliver his or her speech and has not managed to arrange for a fellow party member or a whip to deliver the speech on his or her behalf, that speech will unfortunately not form part of the official record of the proceedings. In short, if members have connectivity problems, the presiding officers will follow the above guidance to try and assist them. We trust that is in order. Lastly, members who are not actively part of a debate are reminded to mute their microphones and switch off their cameras at all times. Also, members are requested to take all reasonable measures to reduce any background noises that may interfere with the proceedings, with the broadcasting of proceedings. Honorable members, I further wish to confirm that the budget report 2022-2023 of the Portfolio Committee on Sports, Arts and Culture has been tabled in terms of the standing rules. We will now proceed with the matters of the agenda, being the debate on vote 10. Honorable members, allow me to invite to the podium Honorable Hlengiwe Mavimbela, the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier and colleagues in the Cabinet, Deputy Speaker, Honorable members, distinguished guests, business leaders, members of art and creative industries, leadership of sport federation and recreation entities, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored and humbled to present the very first budget vote for the newly established KwaZulu-Natal Department of Sport, Art and Culture under Vote 10 on this special day in our history, the 10th of May. This day will always be significant in South Africa as our first democratic elected and black president, Utata Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, was inaugurated. Tata Mandela, the anti-apartheid activist, leader of Umkhonto weSizwe, a lawyer, political prisoner, and ANC president, said in his inaugural speech, and I quote, "Out of the experience of extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. I am pleased that we have reached this milestone of amalgamating the erstwhile Department of Art and Culture and Sport and Recreation under one administration as part of restructuring of government operations. I present this budget speech under the theme, Turning the Tide, as the continuation of the theme of the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which is turning the corner in KwaZulu-Natal. The reorganization of the department represents an opportunity for a new beginning, while at the same time ensuring continuity. Sport, art and culture are key in addressing social ills and promoting social cohesion, as well as health and well-being of communities. This mandate has been encapsulated in the department's vision of healthy, creative, winning and socially cohesive province through sport, art and culture. Tatu Madiba also said in the very same inaugural speech, and I quote, that spiritually and physically oneness we all share with the common homeland explain the depth of the pain we all carried in our hearts as we saw our country tear itself apart in a terrible conflict, and as we saw it spent, outlawed, and isolated by the people of the world, precisely because it has become the universal base of the pernicious ideology, practice of racism and racial oppression. Close quote. The province is emerging from a painful period of grief inflicted on our people by devastating floods, which left over 430 people dead. The sport, art and culture sector did not escape the harm, with extensive damage caused to some of our facilities in different districts. In the past 2 weeks, we buried Miss Nobuhle Gumede, an indigenous game player in Indwedwe, and Miss Senamile Mkhize, a 10-year-old development tennis player in Doesn't Walk. As the Department of Sport, Art and Culture, we are also aware of the large number of children, women and girls at shelters, and we are rolling out basic toys and indoor games to keep children occupied. As we embark on this journey, our aim will be to amplify the message by His Presidency, President Cyril Ramaphosa, of ensuring that there is unity and renewal to defend and advance South Africa's democratic gains. Honorable members, this budget vote will be a stepping stone in building social cohesion and addressing unemployment and poverty in sport and cultural sector. We need to be mindful that our economy has been reeling from the negative impact that COVID-19 pandemic unleashed over the past 2 years, especially in the sport and art sector. Our provincial economy was not spared from the negative impact of this pandemic. Furthermore, we were dealt a major blow during July unrest, where lives of more than 340 people were lost. Working with our social partners, we have been hard at work in the past 2 years, reviving the sector in a bid to accelerate economic recovery through programs such as Keeping Art Alive, Dandi July, and Legends program. Over the past 2 years, we have set ourselves on a path to vastly improve the delivery of services to our communities through the ward-based intervention program. Some of the programs that we have implemented include: 1, improve relationship with the creative and cultural industry, who are now able to speak in one voice through the Cultural and Creative Industries Federation of South Africa, which recently held a successful provincial conference and elected new leadership. 2, we are leading the reading revolution and literacy through establishment of libraries and providing over 156 libraries with free internet services. 3, promotion of indigenous language and development of KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Language Bill. 4, we have implemented flagship programs such as Keeping Art Alive, which has given opportunities to thousands of emerging artists to showcase their talent and record their music through a mobile studio. Afropop singer Spamandla Mafuleka from Imbazwane in Umkhanyakude was one of the first artists to use this facility and was able to record his music in his district instead of having to travel to Durban or Johannesburg. In March this year, we hosted the first edition of the KwaZulu-Natal Cultural and Heritage Experience in Ugu District, which benefited over 100 artists and crafters. In the coming years, we will grow this program to become a major brand that gives opportunities to KwaZulu-Natal artists and to include sport activities. Working together with KwaZulu-Natal Sport Confederation, we have employed sport legends who are assisting with implementation of community and school sport program. In line with district development model, we are rolling out the establishment of ward sport councils, which coordinate sport activities at ward level. We have finalized a framework for the revival of sport, arts, and culture programs at school throughout the province. We have continued with the implementation of our flagship projects like the Dundee July, KwaZulu-Natal Premier's Cup, and KwaZulu-Natal and National Sports Award, as well as indigenous games. Lastly, we have rolled out the One Township, One Village book project and books for the following areas: Umlaza, Mandeni, Esikhaleni, and Mandlakazi in Nongoma has been published. This financial year, we will continue in our quest of improving the lives of many in our sector using the word-based development model. Ours is to ensure that we continue improving the lives of many in the sport and arts sector. Our programs have been tailor-made to ensure that we lift the mood, build social cohesion while ensuring that we keep our communities active. Over the next few years, the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Sport, Art and Culture plans to develop and transform sport, art and culture at the levels and harness their socio-economic contribution towards creating a better life for all. Ours is to lead the aspiration of a transformed, active, creative and winning nation whose pride in being South African is inspired by excellence of the country's athletes and artists. Siwumnyango wezemidlalo ezobuciko namasiko, sizoqhubeka sigubhe izinsuku zezwe kanye nemikhosi yezamasiko ekhethekileyo. Kuzogujwa izinsuku ezimqoka eziyishumi ngenhloso yokufaka isandla ekwakhiweni kwezwe kanye nokubambisana komphakathi. Lokhu kufaka ukugujwa kwezinsuku zezwe ezifana nosuku lwenkululeko, usuku lwamagugu kanye nosuku lwamalungelo. Abantu mhla zingama-25 kuyo lephezulu sizohlanganyela nenhlangano yamazwe ase-Afrika, i-African Union, ukugubha usuku lwe-Afrika. Ngosuku lwe-Afrika sithola ithuba lokubungaza ukwehlukana kanye nempumelelo yethu yase-Afrika. Siqhakambise amandla amasiko nezomnotho akhona ezwenikazi lase-Afrika. Imigubho yosuku lwe-Afrika iqhakambisa inqubekela phambili esesiyenzile njengabantu base-Afrika. Kube khona lapho kubhekwa izinselelo ezifanayo esibhekana nazo emhlabeni jikelele ezingeni lesifunda kanye nelendawo. Talking to the points that I have alluded previously, let me start with school sport and culture. Together with our counterparts in the Department of Education, we have finalized the implementation of the integrated strategic framework for the school sport, which speak to reintroduce of sport, arts and culture programs in our schools. The framework has been approved by the Cabinet and will be implemented as a blueprint in this financial year. The framework compels educators, coaches, and community volunteers to deliver quality and effective programs for school sports, art and culture. This will include the availability of infrastructure for learners to assess these activities and programs, as well as setting aside a day every week for sport arts activities for all schools. The successful implementation of the framework will accelerate the transformation of society by addressing past imbalances and in creating opportunities for learners to showcase their talent. In this financial year, a total budget of 48,600,000 has been set aside for the implementation of school sport, of which 38,900,000 is from the mass participation conditional grant, with the department also allocating an additional 9,700,000 through the equitable share. This budget will, however, not be sufficient to sustain provision of equipment to 432 schools, support for 50 school sports structures, capacity building of 550 educators and volunteers, and to participate in district, provincial, and national competition in the winter, summer, and autumn school sport championships. Talking to the infrastructure, the ultimate objective of our transformation pathway remains to level the playing field so that the majority of South Africans have equitable access and opportunity to participate and achieve in all areas of sports, art, and culture. Our infrastructure development program is designed to incrementally achieve this by setting achievable goals and targets within the limited resources at our disposal. In the last financial year, we were able to renovate 14 libraries in partnership with different municipalities. 35 libraries were provided with generators. Emergency water supply through 14 boreholes were completed for this project with a budget of 28,660,000. 11 combination court or multi-purpose courts were constructed in schools with an overall spend of 4,500,000. We installed 11 children play gyms in ECD centers with 709,520 spent on this project. In this financial year, the department will continue the next phase of the 4 fitness centers being built in Newcastle, Umhlathuze, Umzimkhulu, and Alfred Duma, with an overall budget of 52,800,000. We will install 22 children play gyms in identified ECD centers with an allocation of 1,900,000 for this project. We have planned for the construction and refurbishment of 13 libraries with an overall budget of 89,900,000. Honorable members, one of our priorities in the new department is to ensure that we have combined facilities that will cater for both sports, art, and culture. One of the areas that we have identified for such facility is the Bulwa Art Center in Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma local municipality. This will be a state-of-the-art facility which will be a one-stop shop for sport, art, and culture in the district. Our aim is to make sure that we roll out such facilities across our province. Madam Speaker, Chairperson, last year we launched the Keeping Art Alive word-based program targeting the creative sectors, both performing and non-performing sectors. This initiative created job and employment opportunities for struggling artists through platform creation, audience development, competitions, stage performance, training, and mentorship. Keeping Art Alive created 960 direct opportunities for the industry and has created over 3,000 job opportunities for creative industry. As mentioned earlier, key to the Keeping Art Alive program, the department introduced a mobile recording studio, and this initiative is designed to provide an opportunity to emerging artists to record their singles in a professional environment. Since its introduction, the mobile studio facility has recorded over 80 young artists and has visited 3 district municipalities. We have also partnered with established producers in the province, conceptually creating more opportunities for emerging and upcoming producers and songwriters. The Keeping Art Alive program has also been expanded to craft, fine art, and photography, with the department partnering with the Pavilion Shopping Mall and Ushaga Marine World. Through this partnership, the department secured prime retail space for the crafters, enabling them to commercial and marketing opportunities. This partnership has benefited over 200 artists and crafters since it started. After the success of this program in eThekwini, we have started to engage other malls and facilities in other districts in order to expand this program across the province. We are also working with 241 ward-based volunteers who have been employed to assist local-based artists and culture organization. These ward-based volunteers are set to represent the department in various war rooms to facilitate ward-based art and culture programs. The department further partnered with the Provincial Federation of Artists, which is CIFSTA, to roll out a joint program in community art centers across the province through various talent searches. These projects were done throughout the province in all district municipalities under the banner of Keeping Art Alive. Talking to Ward Sport Council, in partnership with the KwaZulu-Natal Sport Confederation, we have completed the election of 210 Ward Sport Council within the most district and have inducted this council to ensure that they understand their roles and responsibilities in the wards. They are going to be our eyes and ears on the ground, identifying the needs of the communities, ranging from facilities to the sport development programs. The Ward Sport Council will work very closely with the local ward councillors, Izinduna, Sector Department, South African Police Services, clubs and other community forums with the ultimate objectives of delivering sport on the ground. A budget of 1,700,000 is allocated to support this ward-based intervention. Madam Speaker, while we have made steady progress with the transformation of sport, the composition of our national team at Tokyo Olympics last year laid bare road we have yet to travel. Our funding policy set transformation parameters that sport federation must achieve to access financial support from the department. In this financial year, 45,400,000 has been set aside as a transfer payment to sport federations and non-profit entities. Support will be provided to 50 sporting bodies, which includes federations at a provincial and district level. Support will be given in the form of transfer payment and goods and services. KwaZulu-Natal cricket, cycling and rugby have made a significant progress in meeting their transformation targets, but we still need to strive to transform their executive boards and increase the number of females that are in leadership position. KwaZulu-Natal aquatics and golf have a long way to go, and the department is now determining where our support is most needed. The department will continue to support arts organizations, various community arts centers, and event companies which host festivals and concerts. Approximately 40 community-based arts and culture organizations will benefit through transfer, including grant in aid, and 15 community structures will be supported. Honorable members, every year as the department, we receive numerous proposals from companies requesting funding for various events across our province. To make the process fair, on the 19th of April, we opened an online application process for the grant in aid funding for the arts, culture, and heritage sector. The objective of funding organization is to boost the sustainability of creative and cultural programs in the province. The criteria used to distribute this fund is done through the transfer policy of the department to organizations registered as non-profit, non-governmental, cooperatives, and private companies. Our efforts are designed to provide equitable support to the culture and creative sector transparently and fairly. The application period for this funding will open once every financial year. It is vital for every organization that qualifies to use this opportunity to apply before the closing date, which is on the 13th of this month. On the Music House, honorable members, after years of challenges besetting the KZN Music House project, I am pleased to announce that this flagship project is now back on track. As we speak, the service provider is on site busy with major renovation in the institution. The expected month of completion of this renovation is June this year. The other portion of the building has been identified as a temporary offices for CIFSA. Through Arts Development Unit, we have procured for a mobile entertainment truck which will be utilized for community festival in various local municipalities, especially rural areas where proper infrastructure is not available. This project will create job opportunities for sound engineers, ICT specialists, and facilitators. On language services, singumnyango sisazoqhubeka ekuqhakambiseni izilimi zomdabu futhi sikholelwa ukuthi ulimi yona ndlela yokudlulisela amasiko namagugu ethu ezizukulwaneni ezizayo. Umnyango uzovuselela uhlelo lokumemezelwa komthethosivivinyo wezilimi zezifundazwe sakwaZulu Natal okuhloswe ngawo ukubeka ezingeni elilinganayo zonke izilimi zesifundazwe. Kuzokwesekwa ababhali ababhala ngezilimi zomdabu ngokuba kube nemincintiswane yokubhala izincwadi belekelelwa ngokuthi kushicilelwe imisebenzi yabo. Kuzobeka eqhulwini ukubhala ngezindaba ngamalokishi nangezindawo zasemakhaya. Umnyango uhlose ukweseka okungenani ababhali abathathu basemalokishini kanye nababili basemakhaya. Kulonyaka wezimali ucwaningo luzokwenziwa kulezi zindawo ezilandelayo: eNgelwezane, eGamalakhe, eMpumalanga, eMgababa kunye naseMbazwane. Umnyango uzoqhubeka nohlelo lokufunda olunye ulimi olaziwa ngokuthi iLearn Another Language olufaka ukufunda kwezinye izilimi zomdabu kubalwa nolimi lokuhumusha ngezandla. Umnyango uzoqhubeka uhlinzeke imisebenzi yokuhumusha ukulungisa imibhalo kanye nokutolika eminyangweni kahulumeni uma icelile. Uphiko lwezilimi lwabele isamba esibalelwa ezigidini ezingama-60, izinkulungwane ezingama-597. The department will continue to provide funding to 41 affiliated museums. For this financial year, the department will transfer 11,530,000 to local municipalities and 4,887,000 to museums that are managed by Board of Trustees for the provisioning of salaries and operational costs. The department will continue to digitize cultural artifacts and make them available online on the public. The upgrade on Kwadukuza Museum has commenced. The department transferred the last portion of 10 million towards upgrading of Kwadukuza Museum last year in November. The department will assist Kwadukuza Museum with developing new exhibition that will be installed once the upgrade is completed. Museum Services has a total allocation of 33,157,000. On library and archive services, Madam Chairperson, last year we made a commitment to extend our libraries to Umzumbe municipality, which is the only municipality that still did not have a library. A mobile library bus started working in Umzumbe in June last year. initially promoting library services and embarking on membership drive. Other services like internet, printing and photocopy facilities are available to all users. We will continue to embrace technology as much as possible by giving digital access to even the most remote areas of our province. We have successfully revived the provision of e-book, which gives communities access to library materials through visual platform. A new contract was signed with Overdrive for a 3-year period starting in January this year. Annual funding for this project is 996,308, servicing all our libraries in the province. In collaboration with Family Literacy, we have launched a Reading with Understanding program at Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini local municipality. This program teaches mothers to read to their kids in mother language. The program has successfully developed a isiZulu phonics to assist with teaching isiZulu. Through collaboration with elites, this program will be extended to all 11 districts. This year, the KwaZulu-Natal Archives will endeavor to expand its efforts in the preserving the province's rich history by setting up a dedicated unit to deal with the challenge of digitizing archival records. We are pleased to report that the archives have already digitized a large portion of death registers from the missing person unit of the National Prosecuting Authority dating between 1975 and 1996. These records form part of our new vision to expand the archives collection to include a wider scope of archival, to better document the struggles and archivements of the past 3 decades, while the records management units continue with its programs to train government administrators, staff on sound records management practices. In this financial year, working with COGTA, it will be extended to train and also include traditional court secretaries. Admin clerks in traditional courts are critical in ensuring that the administration of traditional courts is run effectively to facilitate service delivery. As a direct outcome of the oral history interviews that have been conducted by Archives Directorate of the DSEC, a process of repatriate remains of Amangwane relatives who were held in Pretoria in 1957 has been initiated. Working with all relevant government departments and agencies, DSEC will help families rebury their relatives in Engoba, Ebergville. Hosting of major events and sport events. In 2023, all roads will be led to Cape Town when South Africa hosts the 2023 Netball World Cup. This tournament will showcase the talent and unite our people behind the representative team South Africa. While KwaZulu-Natal is not hosting any official games during the global showpiece, we seek to benefit from the legacy project that will ensure the growth and development of netball in the province. We are excited that the Netball World Cup trophy will arrive at King Shaka International Airport before the start of the tournament and will be able to take it around the province to ensure that our people can feel part of the event. Last month, we launched the Netball World Cup Legacy Project and Netball Friday campaigns in Umtubatuba. The Netball Fridays campaign aims to encourage citizens to wear their sport gear every Friday to mark the arrival of the World Netball Showpiece, which will be hosted for the first time in Africa. As part of the build-up, we will also be involving schools and sport legends to drive the development and netball throughout our province. Fan parks will be set up to allow our people the opportunity to embrace the global showpiece, infrastructure support, capacity building programs, training of volunteers, and taking the games to the deepest rural areas will be some of the legacy projects that are being rolled out. The opening power week of the 2022 Telkom Netball League season was successfully hosted at the Olive Convention Center in Durban from the 26th of April until the 2nd of May. It is high time that KwaZulu-Natal has a dedicated venue that caters for indoor sport that will allow us the opportunity to bid for national and international competition. A World Table Tennis Championship. After 81 years, the International Table Tennis Federation World Individual Table Tennis Championship will be hosted in Africa, with eThekwini winning the bid to host the championship. The event will be staged at Inkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center at the end of May. We are proud of this fact that hosting the World Table Tennis in 2023 give us, the people of this province, the opportunity to showcase our rich sporting culture to the whole world. We have begun our series of meetings with the South Africa Table Tennis Board to put into place all the necessary logistic arrangement and roll out the World Table Tennis legacy programs. It is our intention to take table tennis to all corners of the province and to use this opportunity to unearth the talent and to create a development pathway for athletes from rural areas to showcase their talent. The department will continue its support of KwaZulu-Natal Premier's Cup in this financial year. The KwaZulu-Natal Premier's Cup is a pre-season football tournament involving professional clubs from the province campaigning in the Premiership and the National First Division. The Cup offers a platform for the professional team to fine-tune their preparation for the upcoming season and to display their talent and the new acquisition to their fans in KwaZulu-Natal. The department will continue to support women football, with Durban Ladies being the only KwaZulu-Natal representative in the Hollywood Bets National Sport League. Sadly, this club is still without a sponsor, and we will continue to provide them with the necessary support to excel in this league. We are processing the application of the club to provide them with medically, technically, and logistically support. We will also make every endeavor to assist the club to secure a corporate sponsor. The department has been instrumental in rebuilding boxing in the province. The AGM of KwaZulu-Natal Professional Boxing Association was successfully hosted, with Uzandile Malinga emerging as the new chairperson. KwaZulu-Natal now has a recognized boxing promoters association with several new promoters emerging. In this financial year, we will focus on strengthening the governance of these promoters and expose them to the marketing and financial management programs in an effort to make them self-sustaining. We are restructuring the way in which we will continue to support professional boxing, with local, national, and international tournaments receiving different levels of financial support. Tournament will be taken to different districts to spread boxing and popularize our local boxers. In partnership with KwaZulu-Natal Aquatics, we have embarked on a new development program following the recent opening of municipality swimming pools. Through the transfer payment made to KwaZulu-Natal Aquatic, a strategic plan to resuscitate Township Swimming Club has been developed, and full-time senior provincial coach will be employed to manage the program and visit each club once per week. Our target is 10 township clubs, and we will need to allocate each club with the requisite budget to resuscitate their operation. We are still experiencing a high level of drowning in our province, with an average of 2 reported drowning per week. The department and its partners, Wasulo Natal Aquatics and Wasulo Natal Life Saving, will continue with their water safety and learn to swim program. Last year, we managed to teach 350 children to swim. Our vision is every child a swimmer. Our target is to employ 300 swimming instructors in the province. Each instructor will teach 400 children to swim a year, and we will could thus teach 120,000 children to swim a year. On traditional horse racing, I think all of us now know that the Dundee July becomes very popular. So the 11th district, in line with the vision of establishment a new traditional equine sector, there is a full support for this program from the provincial cabinet, various strategic partners, government entities, and private sectors. The aim is to establish the sector as an independent equine industry contributing towards economic growth and job opportunities. On indigenous games, KwaZulu-Natal became 10-time national championships for the National Indigenous Game Festival hosted in Durban last year. Indigenous Games is one of the key lead flagship programs in promoting social cohesion, bringing together people from various cultures and different geographical areas. These games have a long history in underprivileged rural and township communities. This program promotes peace, tolerance, culture, and healthy lifestyle. This year, the strategy is to entrench these games and introduce other codes from different cultures in schools. In this financial year, the department will transfer 1,200,000 to Indigenous Game Council to ensure all the necessary support is given to young entrepreneurs for the manufacture of traditional indigenous game equipment, and support for the games are now part of the mainstream games in community and schools. The department will support 280 indigenous game clubs with technical and administrative assistance. The National Indigenous Games Festival will be staged once again in our province this financial year. The department will invest 6 million through goods and services into this program, with support also provided through the Community Recreational Conditional Grant. On promotion of healthy lifestyle, the Community Mass Participation Program, Siyadlala, is the foundation of community sport in South Africa. The program was launched in 2004-2005 to facilitate access to sport and recreation by as many South Africans as possible, especially those from historically disadvantaged communities. This program is funded through conditional grants to all provinces by the National Department of Sport, Art and Culture, and is designed to address South Africans' lifestyle challenges, including obesity, diabetes, and other non-communicable diseases. This year, the program will seek to reduce levels of poverty by employing youth from disadvantaged communities as healthy lifestyle coordinators to implement recreational programs in the 160 targeted activity hubs. The program will also fight against crime and other social ills by encouraging youth to engage in the meaningful sport and recreation program. The Community Mass Participation delivers mass participation programs such as the Recreation Games, Indigenous Games, Big Walk, National Recreation Day, and Move for Healthy to Communities. All the 160 hubs and clubs within the vicinity of the hubs will be receiving equipment to successfully implement ongoing recreational programs in hubs at a ward level, thus reducing severely social challenges facing communities such as obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure. The program carries a conditional grant funding of 14,700,000, which includes support for the indigenous game clubs and competition at district level. Many of our senior citizens suffer from neglect, emotional and physical abuse. Recreation benefits them by improving their physically and emotionally well-being. Activities are structured to enhance their need to socialize and improve their physically and emotionally well-being. Activities include socializing, dancing, singing, outing, fun sporting, pension day activities, touring, art and craft, home-based activities, self-defense skills. The Golden Games will once again be supported from ward level through the national competition. The department plans to support 70 service centers site with the necessary equipment to support activities. In addition, 150 coaches and facilitators have been trained to implement this program. A women's coaching program will also be introduced with 22 first aiders trained to ensure the safety of elders during the games at all levels. The rehabilitation program for special groups such as offenders, abused women and street children will be implemented in partnership with Love Life, correctional services and other agencies. The department will support 26 correctional services sites and 16 places of safety. The department has planned on an ongoing intervention programs with eye care and street children, and partnering have been established with the Dare to Dream and Roselands Trust to implement leadership program and youth camps to support the most vulnerable. The Work and Play program seeks to promote employee wellness and health. In partnership with other sector departments and the Office of the Premier, the department will provide key activities that promote recreational sport, fun, games, and festival. Weekly interdepartmental programs, fitness classes, yoga, and wellness days. All Work and Play district structures have been reactivated. Training have been provided to 45 structures members as part of capacity building. Ongoing leagues and district competition will be culminated in the provincial Work and Play games with more than 3,000 employees targeted. We are formalizing a partnership with Santaco to promote health and wellness to the drivers within the taxi industry. The program will also include taxi rank, health and fitness screening with a fit to drive, gym being considered for the key sport. The program will be culminated in the annual Santaco Sport Day. Our response to the gender-based violence. The department plans to respond to the scourge of gender-based violence mainly through awareness raising activations at the mass participation events. We have planned programs that will contribute to the fight against GBV through online messaging, discussion, dialogue, and empowerment of women. Consideration have also been made to use sport, art, and culture legends and sport stars and practitioners as anti-gender-based violence ambassadors to convey the message. These advocacy and ambassadors will help raise the level of awareness of being able to defeat GBV. In conclusion, honorable members, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the African National Congress, Umbutho Wesizwe, and the Honorable Premier Ucebisa for entrusting me with the responsibility of leading the establishment of the new Department of Sport, Art and Culture. I also extend appreciation to the Art and Culture, Sport and Recreation, and the Finance Portfolio Committee for their continued support throughout the years. I would also like to thank the staff from former Department of Sport and Recreation and Art and Culture for their continued support throughout this journey. To my family, umama wami umntwana wakwaMavimbela, ndodana yami uSduduzo, ndodakazi yami uSiphesihle. Thank you very much for continuing to be my pillar of strength. I now table the budget for KwaZulu Natal Department of Sport, Art and Culture, Vote 10 for the year 2022-2023 financial year, which is 1,489,055,000 with 4 programs. Program 1 being administration with 280,759,000. Program 2 that talks to cultural affairs of 329,574,000. Program 3, which is library and archive services, with 500,548,000. The last program, which is program 4, sport and recreation, with 378,174,000. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Siyabonga kakhulu umhlonishwa Hlengiwe Mavimbela. Sicela ke siyabonga kakhulu. Siyacela ke malunga ahloniphekile ukuthi siqhubeke nomsebenzi wethu wosuku. Kuleli qophelo ngivumeleni ngicele usihlalo we-Sports and Recreation Portfolio Committee, umhlonishwa AG Mapena, for 10 minutes. Uzawuxhumana nathi ke virtually. Amanda, mhlonishwa Mapena.
Inputs were solicited from the stakeholders present Program 1, which is administration, is allocated 280,759 million in 2022-2023 financial year for the provision of effective management and administration of the department and to ensure effective and efficient use of the financial and human resources. The committee has noted that it includes in the budget 280,759 million is to prioritize budgeted for 21,538 million for the filling of 49 critical vacant posts for the 2022-2023 NTDF. The committee will closely monitor the department's progress in terms of filling these posts in line with the department's commitment in finalizing its organizational structure as per the amalgamation process. The committee has also noted that with pleasure that the department has budgeted 1 million for external bursaries under the transfer of household categories in the 2022-2023 NTEF, with 1,444 million having been allocated in 2023-2024 and in 2024-2025 NTEF. This will go a long way in assisting the artists and athletes who want to pursue their academic dreams. Program 4, which is our sports and recreation portfolio, has been allocated 378,174 million in 2022-2023 financial year for the provision of promotion, development, administration, and funding of sports in Wasulo, Natal. The committee has noted that this program also ensures advancement and participation in sports and recreation, talent identification and promotion of performance, and performance excellence. The committee has also noted that of the 378,174 million is an amount of 97,278 million which relates to the mass participation and sports development called MPSD Commissioner Grant. The committee also noted that this grant funding is to be utilized for the hosting of the sports programs and events, procurement of goods and services for various federations, and community outreach programs, amongst others. The department has also allocated the amount of 280 million for the 2022-2023 financial year in relation to the social sector EPWP incentive grant for provinces, which will be utilized by the department for the employment of healthy lifestyle coordinators and school sport coordinators who administer and host tournaments and championships in various codes such as Netball and indigenous games in schools. In 2022-2023 financial year, the department has indicated that 280 million will be used for the appointment of the 86 healthy lifestyle coordinators and school sports coordinators. Once again, under this program, the committee has noted with keen interest that the department has budgeted to fill 14 critical vacant posts to the budget of 8.559 million over the NTEF. The committee will closely monitor the department's progress in filling up these 14 posts, in line with the department's commitment to finalizing the structure as has been related. In terms of the department's 2022-2023 final APP, the committee has noted that the department's priorities rely on the National Development Plan, the Provincial Growth Development Plan, and the 7 national government priorities. The committee has recommitted itself in focusing its non-financial oversight on priorities derived from the department's 2022-2023 annual performance plan, namely the healthy lifestyle, occupational health and wellness programs, consider employing lifestyle coaches and implementing the healthy lifestyle programs in all districts, promote elite sports through this program by the department, which provides guidelines on application for both financial and non-financial support, solicited or unsolicited requests, and bidding for major events by federation and entities. The committee also welcomes the department's continued initiatives to build 11 concourse in the 11 districts, as well as the 2 early childhood development centers in each of the 11 districts. Under program 4, which is sports and recreation, the committee has observed with great fullness that the department has considered in the near future financial plans the construction of the Belgrade Fitness Center, which is situated in the Zululand district under Ukhongolo, the local municipality. The committee has also observed that funding for the construction of the Belgrade Fitness
Honorable Mapena, unfortunately, you have exhausted the 10 minutes. Siyabonga kakhulu. Ngicela ukubiza umhlonishwa ividube naye ozesithulela umbiko wekomiti laka Arts and Culture. Naye for 10 minutes.
Thula Bradley, angibonga kakhulu hlalo wethu. Ngibingelele kakhulu ku premier wethu kule province kwaZulu Natal. Ngibingelele MEC wethu noza kwabo abakhona lapha endlini. Umnyango uholwa abaphathiswa abakhona lapha njengamanje uDr Sifunda noDr Chonko abakanye nathi bebe awu ngiyampromoter. Ngiyafisa ukusho ukuthi mhlale ngaphambili izingxenye ezinye zale budget sesidlulile kuzo ngenxa ukuthi ibudget yethu iyahlanganisa njengoba umnyango ubizwa ngeSports, Arts and Culture. Ngiyafisa ukusho ukuthi ke ngizogxila kakhulukazi engxenyeni eyisalile eku program 2, program 3. Nami ngiyafisa ukuthatha leli thuba on behalf of ikomiti lethu ukudlulisa okukhulu kudabuka kulabo bantu esibaze ukuthi bayingxenye yokujabulisa isifunda sakithi abavelelwe isigameko esezibaliwe ukulahlekelwa amalunga emndeni yabo nengcebo yabo. Uprogram 2 wethu ke we-Cultural Affairs, the committee acknowledged and commended the department for the continuation of allocation of funds for the main events such as the Human Rights Day, Heritage Day, Africa Day, Women's Day, and World AIDS Day, as well as a provincial signature event which highlighted the diversity of the province, which was held this year in the southern part of KwaZulu-Natal, and it was a big success. The committee is also pleased by the fact that the department will also continue to support and empower artists in the current financial year 22-23 through the budget that has been provided for this program, as it was highlighted by the previous chair. Program 3, Library and Archive Services, which has been allocated 500 million in 22-23 budget for the provision of library and information services, as well as archive services. The committee has noted that this 500 million is an amount of 106 which relates to the community library services conditional grants, which has been classified as a sub-program by the department under this program. The committee has noted also that this grant fund is to be utilized for the construction of various libraries over the MTF, such as Kasoimane, Umvoti, Echwaga, or Fabian libraries. That were transferred to the municipalities for the payment of library units, salaries, and cyber cadets, purchase of library material, connectivity costs for internet access, amongst others. Once again, under this program, the committee has noted with keen interest that the department has budgeted to fill 37 critical vacant posts to the budget of 11 7.1 million in 22-23 financial year. Let me move then to the focus areas for 22-23. The committee has noted that the department priorities were aligned with the National Development Plan, Provincial Growth Plan, and the 7 national government priorities, namely ensuring a critical and funded post to be filled urgently. 2, use government procurement to enhance localization and create more opportunities for SMEs. 3, intensify the implementation of the EPWP project for mass job creation. 4, develop and implement impactful programs to the vulnerable groups in line with their core mandate. Last one, to digitize all government operations services delivery system and communication system, among others. The finding by the Arts and Culture Portfolio Committee are as follows. I'll just highlight the few. The committee acknowledge and welcome the proclamation of the President in the Gazette in line with Section 7(5)(b) and the Public Service Act as per request by the Premier to amend Section 2 to create a Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. The committee acknowledged the department for maintaining the focus on its key mandate being social cohesion and moral regeneration. The committee has observed with keen interest in 22-23 financial year, the KZN Amafa Research Institute Amafa has been allocated 57 million, with the Playhouse Company having been allocated 8 million in terms of transfer of public entities as listed in the terms of Schedule 3 of the PFMA. The committee has observed that the entities will continue utilizing these budget allocations for identification, conservation, protection, management and administration of heritage resources, as well as to conduct research within the heritage field in the province in terms of AMAFA entity. The committee has also noted with keen interest the upgrade and additional additions of Utungulu Arts Center, which will proceed in 22-23 financial year after the MEC, Ogama Vimbela, has concluded her constitutional process with the technical experts currently working and conducting the study on the Utungulu Arts Center. Moreover, the committee has noted that the refurbishment of the Winston Churchill Theatre building used as a district office in Ladysmith will remain funded. The Honorable Chairperson, the committee has committed itself through the oversight mechanism available to it. Let me come to the commendations of the committee. For the department to deliver service efficiently and effectively, the committee recommended the following: strengthen its monitoring and evaluation mechanism, speeding up the process of realigning the merged departmental organization structures and post-establishment to effectively execute its function in line with the mandate and strategic direction. 3, ensure that the filling of the budgeted critical vacant post, especially that those that have a great impact on service delivery, is prioritized. 4, strengthen the focus of the key mandates of the department being the social cohesion and moral generation and job creation, targeting the youth, women, and those people who are disabled. The committee wishes to highlight to this House that the parties supported the 22-23 budget, final draft APP of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, except the Democratic Alliance, which expressed reservation and needed to consult with its caucus. Oh, ni supportil. Okay. Ngizocela silungisele. The DA supported the report. Thank you. The Portfolio Committee on Arts and Culture recognizes the critical role of nation building and social cohesion
Members,
aligned to the newly merged Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and will always offer our unwavering support to you as a department, to you, Honorable MEC, together with your team. Honorable committee members wishes to thank the MEC, Honorable Kamavimbela, the HOD, and the senior officials of department for their continued cooperation and sterling work. Further gratitude goes to the committee support staff of the Arts and Culture Portfolio Committees for their unconditional support, guidance, and robust engagement. Thank you, Chair. The DA supported this one. Thank you.
siyabonga kakhulu malunga ahloniphekile. Ngisacela siqhubeke nokuyiphatha kahle. Umhlonishwa olandelayo, umhlonishwa JN Cele from the African National Congress.
Ngibonge somlomo ngibonge sihlalo ohloniphekileyo ngibingelela usomlomo ongekho phakathi kwethu ngibingelele uPremier ngibingelele ama members executive aphakathi kwethu honorable members sihlalo kuyintokozo kimi ukuma phambi kwendlu kwalendlu ngimele umbutho wabantu kulenkulumo mpikiswano umbutho owakhulula abantu ebugqilini bobandlululo usaqhubeka osemzabalazweni wokushintsha izimpilo zabantu bakwaZulu Natal neSouth Africa yonke. Ngicabanga ukuthi kubalekile ukuveza ukuthi eminyakeni emibili edlule sibe nezinselelo eziningi ngenxa yesimo sokuhlaselwa ukhuvethe. Udlame luka July lokuzitapela ezitolo ukukhothama kangangezwe okwashiya sidumele kakhulu nokushiwa uNdlunkulu owabe yilibamba okwangempela sihlalo njengekwaZulu Natal simanxeba nxeba kuthe kusenjalo sisathukile kulenyanga ephelile izikhukhula ezisanda kudlula nemphefumulo eminingi nezimpahla zabantu abasebenzele kanzima izihlobo nemindeni ezingakatholakali ukuze imindeni ithole ukudlulisa sithi kwimindeni yonke uJehova abophe lawo manxeba avulekile ngenxa yalesimo. Nakuba kunjalo somlomo angeke salibala ukuthi kuyo lenyanga kaMeyi zilishumi kwagcotshwa umongameli wokuqala umnyama uba utata umongameli uNelson Mandela Rolihlahla. Sisizwe saseNingizimu Afrika sesifundazwe sakwaZulu Natal kubalekile ukugubha izinsuku ezinomlando wesizwe nezwekazi lonke significant days. Ukugubha lezi zinsuku kubumba isizwe kwenze sikhumbule okwenzeka ngalolu suku olugujwayo ngoba ukuze isizwe sikwazi ukuya phambili kumele sazi ukuthi siphumaphi. Sihlalo ohloniphekileyo sifisa ukusho ukuthi sizwile ibudget speech inkulumo kaNgqongqoshe yezezimali. Siyabonga mphathiswa amavimbela usho konke besifisa ukukuzwa ukuze sikwazi ukuqhubezela iprovince phambili nomnyango phambili. Sawezwa futhi nezinselelo ozibekile kulesi sabelo zimali. Waze wasichazela wamakahle ukuthi umnyango uzoya kanjani phambili ngalesi sabelo zimali. Malunga ahloniphekile lomnyango unezinhlelo eziningi nonke nimzwile uMEC. Oza kwethu abaseva kuleli komiti bayazi ngokwezinhlelo zomnyango ngaphansi kohlelo lakwa Cultural Affairs. Uhlelo lwabelwe isamba esu 329,574 million kwisabelo zimali zika 2022-2023. Kule nyanga zingu-25 kuNhlaba izwe lonke lizogubha usuku lwe-Afrika olubizwa nge-Africa Day. Ngalolu suku sisuke sibungaza ukubunjwa kwenhlangano Organization of African Unity eyabelwe imali nayo njengoba umphathiswa beseshilo eyabelwe imali elinganiselwa ku2 million. Sikhumbula nokuthi ke ngalolu suku lenhlangano yabunjelwa eAddis Ababa eEthiopia. Inhloso kwakuyikuthi okwabe kungukuthi kuqinise ubumbano nokusebenzisana kwamazwe ase-Afrika. Zikhona izinsuku ezinomlando ezweni likaMthaniya. Singabala usuku lwenkululeko esiphuma kulo enyangeni ephelile u27 April sibungaza usuku lwenkululeko esayithola ngokuvota siyiNingizimu Afrika, usuku lwamalungelo esintu lapho sibungaza futhi sikhumbula ngomzabalazo neminikelo eyenziwa abantu abaningi bezabalazela inkululeko yezwe nokubaluleka kokunakekelwa kwamalungelo abantu. Usuku lamagugu lapho sibungaza siphinde sigqugquzele ukubaluleka kokwazi nezinkolelo zabantu baseNingizimu Afrika. Ukugubha ngicaphune embalwa kodwa ibaluleke yonke nalesi singayibalanga. Lezi insuku zibalulekile kakhulu emlandweni futhi sibonile ukuthi umnyango uzihlelele ukuba ulekelele ukukhumbuza imiphakathi ngokugujwa kwazo. Siwu-ANC, siwukhongolose sibonile ukuthi kule minyaka emibili edlule kuphazamisekile ukugujwa ngendlela ejwayelekile kwale mibhidlango ngenxa yokuvalwa kwezwe nangenxa yesifo iCovid-19. Kuyasijabulisa ke ukubona ukuthi uphinde uyafakwa imali futhi kuyona le mibhidlango ukuze ikwazi ukuthi iqhubeke. Sibhekile ke njengekomiti ukuthi ikwazi ukuqhubeka ngendlela ejwayelekile ngoba izwe njengoba selibe ngaphansi seliku level 1 seyinyusiwe nenamba yabantu abangakwazi ukuthi babambe iqhaza kuyona yonke imibhidlango. Sinethemba ukuthi umnyango uzokwazi ukuthi ukubhekelele lo ukuthi bonke yanyuka inamba ingabi nje ngaba ade yehlile kakhulu. Kuneminye imigubho egxile kakhulu kwisifundazwe sethu esiziqhenyayo ngayo kwaZulu Natal. Nayo umnyango ihlelele kwisabelo zimali imigubho ifana umkhosi kaNomkhubulwane sibonile ukuthi unawo u700,000 umkhosi wesivivane, umkhosi womhlanga, umkhosi ogubha usuku lenkosi uShaka, umkhosi waselwa, umkhosi wamaganu, ugubha umkhosi we-Anglo Zulu War. Njengoba bese sishilo umphathiswa womnyango enikeza umbiko, siwukhongolose sifisa ukuba iqhubeke nemigubho igujwa la esifundazweni ngoba yakha imiphakathi ifundisa nendlela yokuziphatha, ukuhloniphana kanye nobumbano. Sisifundazwe sakwaZulu Natal singesiqukethe izinhlanga ezahlukahlukene sibonga umnyango wezamasiko ngokwenza isiqinisekiso sokuthi wonke amasiko abantu besifundazwe ayagujwa. Ngondasa umnyango ube nenkulumo nombungazo wesizwe sabeSuthu ngaphansi kwenkosi uMulefu. Lo mgubho ubizwa nge-Community Cultural Dialogue lapho bekuxoxiswana futhi kulontshwa ngomlando wabeSuthu ngokufika kwabo esifundazweni sakwaZulu Natal. Kwaphinde kwaba nomncintiswano wethalente labeSuthu lapho wonke umuntu wayithokozela lenkulumo mpikiswano safunda futhi kuyo. Lo mnyango uphinde waba nomgubho esiziqhenyayo ngabe sicabanga ukuthi uzosimama kakhulu obizwa ogwini ugu district obizwa nge-Cultural and Heritage Experience ngoMarch lapho obusebenzisana nosomahlaya kunomculo kanye nezinkondlo. Njengo-ANC silithokozele kakhulu lolu hlelo ngoba luzobeka isifundazwe sethu sakwaZulu Natal kwibalazwe. Miningi ke imibungazo esifundazweni exhaswa umnyango wezamasiko. Le migubho isiyonke ingu12. Umnyango usaqhubeka njalo ukuyixhasa le mbungazo. Singabale kweminye nje umkhosi wesivivane nomkhubulwane sengishile la. Umnyango ubikile ukuthi kulonyaka ka-2022 wezimali uzoqhubeka usupporte izinkampani zezimboni zokuchitha isizungu nobuciko ezingu-40. Umnyango uphinde wakhe nobudlelwane nezinkundla nabantu abamele lezi nkampani ukuze kudingidwe ukusupportwa kwalemboni. Siyikhongolose siyamukela uxhaso olunikezwe lemboni njengoba sazi ukuthi ushayekile kakhulu kuqala ukhuvethe lomnyango wezamaciko. Amathuba emboni yamaciko ukuba iziveze amakhono awo iphinde ibe yingxenye yemicimbi inandise kuyasiza ngoba lemboni inengxenye enkulu eyidlalayo ekuthuthukiseni umnotho njengoba kwakheke amathuba emisebenzi. Futhi lo mnyango uyakwazi amaciko ayakwazi ukuba asisize lapho sidabukile khona ayangena, lapho futhi sijabule futhi ayangena. Sibonile ikomiti umnyango unikela ngama music instrument kuma districts njengomkhanya kude, amajuba njengengxenye nengxenye ye-wide based intervention program. Lama instrument asize ama-artists afufusayo ukuba akwazi ukuzilolonga baphinde bawasebenzise uma sebeqopha kuma-art centers akhiwe nguwo lo mnyango wezamaciko. Siyazi ikomiti ukuthi lizovakashela ukuze likwazi ukuthi liyobheka ukuthi lama instrument akusebenza kahle, agcinwe kahle ukuze kuqhubeke nabanye bakwazi ukubenefita kulolu hlelo. Siyikomiti sibonile ukuthi umnyango usazophinda futhi ugqugquzele ubumbano kubantu besifundazwe ngokuba nezingxoxo nabantu baseyindaweni. Ngibonge somlomo.
Kahle ngikhona la ngihlalele kona lokho uthi ngisigade isikhathi. Ngicela ninginike ithuba. Uphazamisekile mhlonishwa. Siyabonga. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Ngiyacela amalunga angithembe nalapha phambi kwami likhona iwashi. Ngiyacela umhlonishwa olandelayo kule ngxoxo mpikiswano umhlonishwa Mkhawula we-IFP.
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable MEC, Honorable Members, the 6th April 2022 KZN Government Gazette signing, merging the two departments of Sport and Recreation and the Department of Arts and Culture brought together the previous budgets of 475.3 million for sport and a budget of 1.001 billion in arts and culture for the previous financial year of 21-22. Obviously, this was a very minimal and unacceptable budget allocation for the then sport and recreation. This is a view that was repeatedly pronounced by all parties in the legislature in every budget debate since 2019, including the ANC colleagues. It is a call that was never listened to by the powers that be. It just fell on deaf ears. The conclusion is that the powers that be in the ruling party never had the political will in them to financially attend to the problems of sports sector in the province. The merger of the two departments does not bring any magic wand with it that will infuse financial improvement into sports programs in the province. The two departments in the previous financial year had a total budget of 1.4 billion if you bring their two budgets together. The newly created Department of Sports, Arts and Culture is presenting a proposed budget of 1.4 billion. This is a slight difference of only 11 million from 21-22. The new proposed programs of the new department are Program 1, Administration, 280 million, Program 2, Cultural Affairs, 329 million, Program 3, Library Archive Services, 500 million, and Program 4, Sport and Recreation, 378 million. If you look at the allocated 378 million for Program 4, Sport and Recreation in 22-23, and compare it to 475 million allocation of the previous year, when Sport and Recreation was a standalone department, it means that the merger has not brought any financial gain to sport programs in the province. When the two departments were operating separately, administratively, the Department of Sport and Recreation was performing fairly well, achieving the evasive clean audit in 2021 audit reports. The Sport and Recreation Portfolio Committee had a very balanced, fair and objective chairperson who treated all members fairly equally. We do not know about the new uncharted terrain as to what kind of animal we will be allocated as our chairperson. Be that as it may, on behalf of the IFP, I do want to upfront remind the authorities who will be allocated to us that the Portfolio Committee of Sport and Recreation visited Belgrade in Upongolo, where a commitment of 6 million was made by the department to kickstart the project
Mhlonishwa.
of sport complex in the area. We visited the
Honorable
beautifully
Paula.
constructed Dondota.
It's unparliamentary for you to call the incoming chairperson if there will be the animal. Ngicela ubeke ngendlela ezozwakala. Ngiyabonga.
Chairperson, ngicela wasengoneni.
Cha silungisa leya yesilwane eningazi ukuthi sizoba nhloboni. Engathi ungakubeka kahle kungaveli ngendlela okuvele ngayo akuzwakali kahle. Ngicela ke ukubeke ngendlela ekuzozwakala uma usebenzisa ulimi ungalisebenzisi ngendlela ukuthi interpreted direct ngoba lokho seku unparliamentary. Ngicela ukubeke kahle.
Which word is unparliamentary, Chair, so that I get to understand
The
what I
animal,
need to
what
withdraw?
type of the animal that you are going to be given to be the chair.
What kind of structure? Ngicela isikhathi sami ke Chair ungibuyise.
Sibanjiwe.
Cha lesi phela sihlalo Sengaqala Chair. Be that as it may, on behalf of the IFP, I do want upfront to remind the authorities who will be allocated to us that the Portfolio Committee of Sport and Recreation visited Belgrade in Upongolo, where a commitment of 6 million was made by the department to kickstart the project of sports complex in the area. We visited the beautifully constructed Dondora Sports Complex when it was still under construction. We hope that the new committee will continue to monitor the activities there. We were supposed to visit the new projects in Escaleni, which did not happen, but one hopes that the project is continuing. We visited controversial Umzimkulu Sports Complex, which had previously stalled for more than 5 years, and the project was kick-started last year. One hopes that the new committee will closely monitor activities in that area. I am saying closely monitor because the authorities of that area have shown that they cannot be trusted with public funds easily. A new project is supposed to be starting in Newcastle, and one hopes that authorities will ensure that it does happen. This is to mention but a few of the past year activities. The IFP further emphasizes the importance of ethical, fair and balanced treatment of all employees in compliance with the prescripts of the law in a project like this one. Whilst complaints cannot be completely removed in a project of this nature, it is however important that the planned operations going forward do not unnecessarily invite complaints, objections and unwarranted problems, especially in the placement of staff. Sport and recreation might have been of lower financial muscle compared to arts and culture, but it was operating fairly well. We do not want to see employees unfairly treated, jeopardized or sidelined, especially sports and recreation employees. On behalf of the IFP caucus, in the Kzn legislature, we would like to express our gratitude to the erstwhile sport and recreation staff under the leadership of the HOD, Dr. Sifunda, for their professionalism, dedication in handling the matters of sport in the province. I thank you, Chairperson Siyathokoza.
Siyabonga kakhulu Mhlonishwa. Ilunga elilandelayo umhlonishwa B Singh for 6 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. After the recent flooding, we are extremely saddened by the athletes who sadly lost their lives. Our future stars were taken away from us. We send our deepest condolences to their families. Honorable Chairperson, we also thank all those individuals who have contributed to assist our athletes who were affected by the floods who lost their valuables. Aside from our everyday concerns and having our plates full, The Department of Sports and Recreation has also had their hands busy in trying to get back on their feet. Noticeably, there has not been much change, and there are several challenges that still need careful attention within this department to meet certain deliverable standards to the people of the province. At the forefront, when we look at budget allocations, the projected departmental baseline budget allocation for the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture is at 1,489,055,000 for 2022-2023 financial year. And specifically, 378,174,000 has been allocated in the 2022-2023 budget for the provision of promotion, development, administration and funding for sports in KZN, shrinking from 2021-2022 budget. Moreover, the department has been allocated an amount of 2,280,000 rand for the 2022-2023 financial year in relation to the social sector EPWP incentive grant for provinces, which will be utilized by the department. In the 2022-2023 financial year, the department has indicated that the 2,280,000 will be used for the appointment of 86 healthy lifestyle coordinators and school sport coordinators. It is also noted that there will be reprioritization regarding the filling of vacant posts, which is based on the merger of the two departments. Although there has been a slight increase on the revised baseline compared to the current budget, the under-expenditure is still a concern, especially when critical aspects were left out, and is still expected to be completed within the next few months. Sporting activities were highly affected in 2021 due to COVID-19 and lockdown regulations. This means that many targets in line with the mass participation sports development grant that were set by the department were not met. Honorable Chairperson, this department is still faced with a huge task to ensure that all public schools have sport facilities. According to the National Education Infrastructure Management System report that was released in 2021, states that 54% of public schools in KZN lack sporting facilities. Sport is critical for the physical, mental, and social development of children. It helps them learn soft skills such as the importance of key values, honesty, teamwork, fair play, adherence to the rules, and respect for themselves and others, according to the Sport for Development, a UNICEF program which aims to bring about social change in distressed communities. Honorable Chairperson, this is unacceptable. One can conclude that this department has a serious challenge in terms of implementing planned projects or activities. Living a healthy lifestyle is very critical for our well-being. It is concerning that this department could not meet its targets. The department was targeting to reach over 100,000 participants in 2021-2022 in various mass participation programs and events. However, just over half of this target could be reached. Again, this department has a serious challenge in terms of implementing planned projects activities. One concern, however, is the merger of the two departments and whether or not efficiency will form part of both departments being effectively run, especially in terms of budget allocation. A merger actually causes more harm than good, as it will create a new window of opportunity for fraud and corruption, where we will see little to nothing being done, failed audits, and excessive wasteful expenditure. We are also likely to see double parking in this department, where two or more people will be sharing the same position. We can only hope that the merger allows for the department to focus on its mandate. This will be through the department continuation of support for the athletes and development of transformation programs of all sporting codes, with special focus creating more access to rugby, cricket, water sport for the people from rural and disadvantaged backgrounds, in line with the prescripts of the Public Finance Management Act. It is also observed with gratefulness that the department has considered their future financial plan construction for the Belgrade Fitness Center situated in the Zululand district. It was also noted with excitement that the Sikaleni, Mzumkulu, Alfred Duma, and the Newcastle fitness centers have been allocated funding continuation for the construction of these fitness centers, projected to a total of 52,880,000 rand in the 2022 financial year. Let us hope this department complete these projects, as they are famous for not implementing planned projects. Going forward, we can only hope that the merger will benefit our people rather than individuals, and that the intentions and plans are put in place to ensure that mandates are fulfilled. Honorable Chairperson, I would like to invite the Department and Portfolio Committee to embark on a study tour in the Western Cape Cultural Affairs and Sports Department to learn how they managed to merge the process of the two departments and see what lessons could be learned from them. Chairperson, it would be amiss if I did not mention that this department under this HOD, Dr. Safunda, must be applauded. Her team and officials from sports and recreation for their commitments to running a department that actually receive clean audits. These officials should be proud of themselves, as when the merger takes place, there will be no clean audits anymore because the vultures in arts and culture is waiting. Thank you.
Olandelayo, umhlonishwa, NR Majola. Honorable Majola, you are not audible.
Jolinkomo bathathe.
Awuzwakali dadewethu. Yebo, ungaqhubeka.
Premier, the executives, the honorable members, the MEC, Amabimela, HOD, Dr. Tono, and guests, Mr. Chairperson, as I open my debate today, I wish to extend words of condolences to the people of KwaZulu-Natal province who have experienced the traumatic experience of loss philosophy of the Net department is teaching is fish to fish. It has been still contributing significantly to the GDP and can be considered a golden point. Chairperson, we always advocate for positive budget consideration for libraries and heritage. South Africa's successive colonial segregation and apartheid regimes produced a library and information service sector that enabled racial stratification and inequalities in its laws and policies. Public libraries, for example, serve the informational and leisure reading habits of a privileged predominantly white middle class. The design of library buildings was based on the assumption that books would be borrowed for reading at home, where there was space, comfort, and sufficient light, and yet they knew that at that time we were left in the dark. There are many other resources and service delivery disparities in this legacy. There is no other time of graduating from building of libraries. Yes, sets are needed to a level of implementing the vision of the library transformation charter, which is guided by the spirit and values of the Constitution and focus on the national imperatives. The vision of transformed libraries and information has got 10 attributes, but to name few, it's to be within the reach of our South Africans. It's to have more than 50% of South Africans being regular visitors and members. It must have sources. It must be a source of social cohesion. It should cater specifically for the marginalized, e.g. the rural people like Wakondile, Songe Besile, Honorable Singh, they've seen Kulwenzeka Wakondile. It should also cater for all people and undereducated people in the language of formal schooling. Sizama ngabazali abangasazi isikolo, kodwa bathi open quote, ningafundanga nje kodwa nabafundisa khona abantwana. Those who to mamia lo. MEC, let the department come closer to all those categories. Zizokwazi ukunika umnyango ngendlela yolwazi abanayo. Abanye bangakunika umlando wesigodi nesikompilo lwalo ndawo. Nokuthi utshintsho lwaqala kanjani nasekujina nje. But there are challenges identified in this sector. Locating the sector under archives, which is regulated nationally, and we will not know power on it. The education and training, which is affected by closing training schools on libraries and information, attracting young people is still a problem. And if you notice, the workforce there in all subsectors is just aging. Policies and strategies. Here, the sector is fragmented across different levels and departments of government. Lastly, the norms and standards, which are lacking. We are born again after we don't know. We are born with the norms and standards. We are super cool. There's a fancy one. We are taking a calamisa law sector. I was then saying, I want the old. Who did I change as a Sunday? Who was so was later over and gave there in and I think this, I want to retaliate the issue of the sector being highly underfunded because there is no framework or model with a clear emphasis on the funding. Who needs that is not a sector without leaving behind the indigenous knowledge system to where the libraries and the large limited mainstreaming of indigenous knowledge and the collecting and disseminating of it in book, in audio, and in video format. We have to consider this in this market. It's serious. Chairperson, let me just highlight the issue of public consent on the system of closed market in bookshops, so in libraries. This is understood as closed market book distribution, which is called by South African book selling industry, and is not necessarily used internationally. This definition has therefore been gathered from stakeholders in the trade rather than dictionaries and encyclopedias. This means a local South African bookseller is unable to get a particular book directly from the publisher. Books required by the bookseller from customer
Mhlonishwa uMajola, siyaxolisa kakhulu sekuphele sona isikhathi. Siyabonga.
Jolinkomo.
Ilunga elilandelayo umhlonishwa PP Herricks.
Fighter.
Ngicela simdedele.
Greetings to the
Honorable member, can you please show show your face. Can you unmute your camera, please? Ivule dadewethu. Mhlonishwa, sizothatha ngokuthi kunenkingana kwi-gadget yakho. Asikudedele uqhubeke mhlonishwa, senzele isikhathi. Siyacela ukuthi abahlonishwa basemakhaya baqinisekise ukuthi bayaveza ubuso ukuze sibone ukuthi ibona na.
Qhubeka Pipi, qhubeka.
Mhlonishwa Herix, ma unenkinga yokuthi ivuleke, ngiyacela siqhubeke. Honorable members, while we give Honorable Herix an opportunity to address whatever challenge that she has, ngisacela sidlulele phambili, sizomnikeza ithuba as per the rules. Kufanele engabe kungena umhlonishwa CM Shinga uxolisile ungakwakhokha. Umhlonishwa olandelayo ophakathi kwethu umhlonishwa GN Swatboy Ntombela. Uzothi mayeqeda sibuyele ku PP Herix sicheck ukuthi inkinga abhekene nayo isisolvekile na. Mhlonishwa Swatboy Ntombela.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Chairperson, I want to take this opportunity as I stand today on behalf of the African National Congress and remember all women who were raped and killed. I would also like to extend my deepest condolences to all families and friends of all women and children who died from gender-based violence and femicide. May their souls rest in peace. Honorable Chairperson, Bronan Litke said, and I quote, "Gender-based violence has been silenced for too long, and we need to lift this veil and let women know that they are not alone." Chairperson, whilst noting the issue of gender-based violence, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has indicated that its intention moving forward is to work with the vulnerable groups. The province, in the province of KwaZulu-Natal through sports, arts and culture programs to promote social cohesion, boost economic activities, to create sustainable jobs, combat and substance abuse and gender-based violence and femicide. Chairperson, mangicaphule utata ubaba uNelson Mandela ngoba naye wenza umnxeba ocacileyo wathi ndiyacaphula. Sports has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has got the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. It is more powerful than government in bringing down racial barriers. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sports is the game for lovers. Chairperson, this move to address gender-based violence and femicide by the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture is welcomed by the African National Congress. It will go a long way in addressing the challenges that the South African society is facing with GBVF. The Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has also identified gender-based violence and femicide as one of its challenges in its 2022-2023 final APP. However, Chairperson, it has noted, we have noted with concern that the department has not provided specific performance indicator targets which talk to gender-based violence in terms of sports in 2022-2023 APP. And it is proposed that performance indicator targets which talk to this challenge should be catered for in the APP of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. It has been noted with keen interest by the African National Congress that the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has provided for women in sport through the disaggregation of beneficiaries in terms of providing for women at 50% in all its 2022-2023 APP targets. These included number of sporting bodies receiving support to drive transformation, number of sports scholarships awarded, number of sport officials trained, number of sport development programs delivered, number of athletes supported by the sport academies. In 2022-2023 financial year, the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has been allocated 1.489 billion. Before the amalgamation of two departments, the Department of Sports and Recreation had a budget of 475.629 million in 2021-2022 financial year. Now that after the amalgamation, it has been noted that there has been no effect on program 4, Sports and Recreation, Honorable Kaula, as the budget for program 4 has increased from 366.613 million when it was still under the Department of Sports and Recreation to 378.174 million now that it is under Sports, Arts and Culture. That's the effect is only on program 1, administration, where these two departments will suffer, which has necessitated the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture not to fill all vacant posts, as it is in the process of finalizing its organizational structure. Chairperson, it is worrisome as it will negatively affect sports and recreation. We do not know which posts will be sacrificed within program 1 in the process of finalization of the organogram. Chairperson, kodwa siyazi ukuthi there will be one office of the HOD, one CFO, one district offices in each district. Chairperson, this is unsettling, and we put forward that the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture must submit a comprehensive report to Sports and Recreation Portfolio Committee once the organogram has been finalized. Moreover, a joint committee be conducted for the members of Sports and Recreation and Arts and Culture Portfolio Committee to bring them up to speed up the latest challenges and of the new organizational structure of Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and its effect on the Department of Sports and Recreation. Correspondingly, one has observed that in the 2022-2023 final APP, the merged departments now have a total of 29 performance indicators. That means the performance indicators have decreased from 45 performance indicators, Chairperson. In conclusion, Chairperson, we want the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture to attend to the sporting facilities that were affected by floods. And they must also give us a report of the cost that will be needed according to their analysis, and how many sports facilities have been affected. I thank you, Chairperson. The ANC supports the budget.
Siyabonga kakhulu umhlonishwa uSwati Boy, siyacela umhlonishwa ngapha eceleni ayiphathe kahle. Njengoba ke besicelile ukuthi simnikeze ithuba umhlonishwa uPP Herricks, sisacela ukumnika leli thuba for 9 minutes. Mhlonishwa Herix. Order, members. Order, members. Ngicela sinikeze umhlonishwa uHerix ithuba. Unmute.
PP yaskuzwa.
Greetings, Honourable Speaker, Honourable MEC, Honourable Members, officials and fellow citizens. I stand today on this day to comfort all families who have lost their beloved ones from COVID-19 and to be safe in floods. People of Natal have been affected badly. We are honoured to welcome the Zulu King. The Zulu ethnic group is one of the is one of the many cultural groups that form part of South Africa in contribution to both social and economical development. It is of such importance and honor through arts and culture. Due to the COVID-19, we were impacted under cultural affairs. There is with great significance for the department to devote to ensuring to the filling of critical posts, commitments to empowerment and implementation of impactful programs. It's of great benefit to the youth on the budgeted amount for external bursaries under transfers to household category. A follow-up on the number of those benefited should be amongst the committee be shared. And close of furthering is with necessity on oversight. Previously, we were sidelined in black communities. Umnyango sports developed a concept of fitness centers which catered for most sports codes. Okungekho sikubuda nje emfuleni playing soccer esiganga laleli. Lo mnyango wezemidlalo nama-oversights are important in quality of living in our rural communities. Uyabakha ubaqoqe abantwana. Lo mnyango has carried isiqu kuthina abamnyama esifisa kwande esifundazweni saKwaZulu Natal naku-generation ezayo. I-ESF appreciates the good work done through oversight writing despite the limited budget kulo mnyango wezemidlalo, ubuciko namasiko. The ESF knows the budget. Thank you.
Siyabonga kakhulu umhlonishwa. Ilunga elilandelayo kufanele engabe umhlonishwa Esthakuru Rajbans. Kunesixoliso esifikile. Ngakho ke siyadlula siya kumhlonishwa SE Manqele omele umhlonishwa ME Phakathi. Mhlonishwa Manqele.
Honourable Speaker, Honourable MEC of Art and Culture and Sports and Recreation, as a part we welcome the budget of 1.5 million allocated to this financial year. We view this department as one of the more important departments in making
Umhlonishwa. Sekuphele sona isikhathi, siyabonga kakhulu. Ilunga elilandelayo umhlonishwa SM Sonjica for 7 minutes.
Mhlali ngaphambili amalunga endlu yosomthetho abaphathiswa bamasebe abakhoyo izimenywa zikamphathiswa wesebe eziphakathi kwendlu nabonke abamameleyo kubuxhakaxhaka belixesha. Mhlali ngaphambili intetho yami iza kuba kuhlahlomali lwenqubo yemidlalo yezikolo. Inqubo yemidlalo yezikolo isiseko senqubo yezemidlalo kwixesha elizayo nenqanaba lokugqibela lokukhuphusana. Ingxelo yamva nje ye-Eminent Persons Group ngenqubela nenguqu ibonisa ukuba ininzi lezikole ingakubi esemaphandleni azinawo amathuba okufikelela kwezimidlalo ezikolweni. Uninzi lwezikolo alukwazi ukufikelela kumathuba okuthatha inxaxheba kwezemidlalo ecwangcisiweyo elungele nelanisweyo nezibonelelo. Ngokubhekiselele kwimidlalo yenqanaba eliphezulu, oku kuthintela ngokukhawuleza ipool apho italente inokukhethwa khona. Ukufikelela okuphansi kokuthatha inxaxheba kwezemidlalo, ulonwabo, ubugcisa nenkcubeko phakathi kwabafundi nako kunegalelo ekunyekweni kwamazinga okutsheba ngokugqithisileyo. Ubugwenxa ekuhlaleni, ukuyeka izikole phambi kwexesha nolophulo mthetho. Imeko yaba mandundu ngexesha lobhubhane we-COVID xa kungekho imidlalo ivunyelweyo ezikoleni. Omnye wemngeni ejongene nemidlalo yezikole ngokungaphunyezwa ngokwaneleyo kwemfundo yolwakhiwo, physical education ezikolweni. Kuninzi lwezikole zethu imfundo yezomzimba iphunyezwa ngokuqhelelaniswa nobomi, i-life orientation, ngabotishala abenganazo izakhono ezifunekayo kunye nesiqinisekiso zokufundisa ezifundo. More than 40,000 learners participated in school sports at district levels. Over 10,000 participated at the provincial level in the last 3 years. Currently in KZN, reigning champions of the ABC Motsepe and Southern Africa Society for Cooperative Education. Honorable Chairperson, we are pleased with the increase in the number of school sport coordinators that are employed by the department to assist in the delivery of structured school sport programs. The department continues to train volunteers and educators to deliver school sport. Honorable Chairperson, the Department of Sports and Recreation delivers school sport in partnership with the Department of Education. We are quite pleased, Honorable Chair and the MEC and honorable members, when we were pleased when we heard that the Department of Education is going to sign an MOU with the department so that we revive and really revive the school sports in our province. The committee applauds the department and all other stakeholders who work tirelessly in developing the integrated strategic framework for school kwiphondo lethu. Esisicwangciso qhinga siza kuvelisa izinto ezintsha esizokwenza sibone omabini amasebe nabachaphazekelayo bebambisene ukwazisa kwakhona izicwangciso zokwandisa uthatho nxaxheba lwabafundi kwezemidlalo ezikolweni. Nangona isebe lingenayo imali eyaneleyo, likwazile ukuthi libonelele ngamathuba emidlalo ezikole kubafundi kwiphondo liphela, ukuba bathathe inxaxheba kwiikhodi eziyi-15 eziphambili nakwimidlalo yesintu emine ukusuka kwinqanaba lwezikole ezisebenzisanayo cluster ukuya kuyosho kuzwelonke. Siyanxusa futhi mphathiswa ukuthi uhlolo le-sport focus schools kuzofanele sinyuse izinga nendlela yokulixhasa azenele lezikole ezingu-12 ezixhaswa ngumnyango. Imbiko kazwelonke isitshela ukuthi ziwu-25% wezingane kuzwelonke utholakala lapha kulisifunda sethu. Lokho kusho ukuthi kufanele sizame ngazo zonke izindlela ukuthi sisabalise izinhlelo zokuthuthukisa ezemidlalo ukuze sifinyelele kubafundi abaningi. Siyafisa futhi ukushayela ihlombe uhlelo olubizwa nge-Elite Athlete Development esilibone liphumelela ikakhulukazi ngabalula nje umfowethu uBongumusa Mthembo omunye wabantu abaqhakambise isifundazwe sethu abaphuma kulolu hlelo. Siyafisa ke sengivala ukuquota uJessica Ellis Hills, I quote, "The only one who can tell you you can't win is you, and you don't have to listen." Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Siyabonga kakhulu Mhlonishwa Sonjica. Ilunga elilandelayo umhlonishwa SE Manqele. Ilunga elilandelayo umhlonishwa uSE Manqele.
Based to all ages, to
Siyabonga kakhulu umhlonishwa uManqele. Ilunga elilandelayo umhlonishwa B Singh for 3 minutes.
6 minutes.
Hayi,
6 minutes.
3 minutes.
No, 6 minutes.
Oh, six. I'm sorry, 6.
Thank you, Chair.
6. Hayi, mina ophethe isikhathi la.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, the Indian community is still waiting for the indentured laborers monument for more than a decade, which has been promised year after year. The Premier in his State of the Province address last year promised the monument by November 2021. The HOD for Arts and Culture assured the Portfolio Committee that the monument is on track for November 2021. As we speak, no monument yet. The 10 million that was budgeted is shrinking, and there will soon be no funds available. Unfortunately, whether we look at the financial year budget or even the baseline projected budgets, what are we really looking at? Let us look at the exclusive budget underspending for 2021-2022. 131 million rand was underspent, MEC. This is completely unacceptable, as this department continues to underspend and get away with it. The underspending is also deeply disturbing in view of the critical vacancies that is still available. Musicians have been sidelined during the pandemic. Majority of artists in the province received nothing from this department, sadly. These funds could have built a few libraries that are much needed. The only reason this department could not spend the funds is that they could not find more ways to steal the money for themselves, as they are known for notoriously squandering funds. It comes as no surprise that the department dismally failed at managing and spending the 2021-2022 budget allocation. This has been the highest under-expenditure in the history of the department. It is mind-boggling, MEC, how 50 million rand could have been budgeted for less than 50 staff members. Fortunately for the people of this province, salary money cannot be rolled over, otherwise it would have also found its way into the pockets of these senior officials within the department. The department disposed almost its entire vehicle fleet. So one would have imagined that some of the 131 million rand that was underspent would be used to buy replacement vehicles. One would have assumed that the art centers would have been upgraded so that struggling artists can have at least derived some financial benefit. This department failed to spend 10% of its 2021-2022 budget. And going forward, we need a commitment from the MEC that the new department, Sports, Arts and Culture, will spend its 22-2023 budget allocation. Honorable Chairperson, of the 17 companies awarded the tender to supply library books, only 3 companies are booksellers. And of these 3 companies, namely Vuga Books, based in Durban, is a spin-off of Logan Bookshop and Option Books. These 3 companies, Vuga Books, Logan Bookshop, and Option Books, were red flagged by the eThekwini municipality when awarded a tender. Subsequently, the tender was withdrawn due to the fact that 2 of these companies operate from the same address, bid rigging and tender colluding. A simple Google search will give you evidence that you require to link these 3 companies together. None of the 17 companies who were awarded a 3-year tender are members of the South African Booksellers Association. Shocking. A criminal charge was laid by the South African Police Services with the Phoenix case number 71903-2022. This charge was laid against certain individuals after the discovery of further departmental fraud and corruption relating to the procurement of personal protective equipment, valued at 2.2 million rands, for the unopened Duduku Library at the Matuba municipality. More criminal charges were laid. Pietermaritzburg case number 19903-2022, relating to, once again, the procurement of personal protective equipment for unopened 8 modular libraries in the province, to the tune of 5.8 million rand. The Kzn Music House is still an embarrassment for this department. This studio was meant to be the best in the Southern Hemisphere. Unfortunately, not a single CD was recorded, yet millions were spent on who? Utungulu Art Center, after spending more than 30 million rand is another embarrassment for this department. Where is the consequence management, MEC? On the last day of the 2021-2022 budget financial year, the department paid 7.8 million rand relating to the procurement of magazines, but not a single magazine was delivered to a single library in the province. Shocking. Surprisingly, this payment was made to Itala Bank, and the bank refused for the payment to be processed due to the irregularities and sent it back to the department. Since the Democratic Alliance exposed this, and it is now in the public domain, the CFO refuses to release the funds since she is hiding. The department came under the spotlight for the discovery of 7.9 million spent on laptops, which were meant for the public, which were instead given to departmental librarians and staff. The amount of money spent on laptops was another concern, given that it was almost 8 times the market value. Honorable Chairperson, this department spent 4 million rand on 2 65-seater buses, which were supposed to be mobile libraries in October 2021. The Democratic Alliance raised the alarm again. These buses have the MEC's photos plastered on both sides, but I'm sure the MEC is super excited to see her photos sitting on white elephants. The department officials who think they can do as they please by not following mechanism in place to prevent corruption. It's because of this MEC,
Waphela
because she has
6
become
minutes.
tone deaf.
6 minutes usuphelile Mhlonishwa. Your 6 minutes is finished. Waphela 6 minutes. Ilunga elilandelayo umhlonishwa MP Gwala for 10 minutes.
Honorable Chairperson,
Honorable members,
Her Excellency,
Honorable Singh,
Her
your
Excellency
6
Dube
minutes
Ngube,
is finished.
Dabezita,
Let's allow
Honorable
Gwala.
MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture, Honorable members, the IFP support the 1.5 billion rand budget allocation for 2022-23 financial year. Honorable Chairperson, this department is very important for various reasons. It is a vehicle for social cohesion, and most significantly, it is important due to its educational and emancipatory roles. This is why we as the IFP view the 1.5 billion budget as inadequate. We urge the Premier and the Treasury to look at increasing the budget so that the department may pursue its mandate effectively in the interest of the people of our province. Our biggest concern with this department are the funds that remain unused in each financial year and are later forfeited. Infrastructure projects get delayed, ended up costing the department exorbitant amount in fees. Some projects have not been finalized, resulting in fruitless expenditure. The IFP views this as a lack of capacity within the department stock management to deliver, especially within the SCM unit. This department also was not spared from budget cuts. In 2020-2021, the department's budget was reduced by 34.825 million rand, and in 2021-22, the department's equitable share budget was cut by 97.127 million rand. We have seen many projects delayed for many years. We note the 2.108 million rand for 2022-23 for the EPWP integrated grant for provinces, which will be used to employ 40 contract employees to continue to assist in the implementation of the infrastructure, SCM and more. It is commendable that a future 7 million rand has been allocated to employ 222 contract employees as library processors, library practitioners, and library assistant under the EPWP integrated grant for provinces. We do not expect that the 1.5 billion rand budget allocated for the 2022-23 financial year will be fully utilized for all the responsibilities of the department, as this department has not been able to spend its entire budget since 2009. We acknowledge the commencement plans of much delayed infrastructure project, namely the refurbishment of Winston Churchill Theatre and the Utungulu Art Center. We are disappointed particularly about the Utungulu Art Center. The department spent millions building a state-of-the-art facility in a questionable site, thus leading to the building becoming a white elephant. The IP calls for a thorough investigation into this matter and demands feedback as to what action has been taken against those involved so far. Delays in this project have resulted in the department underspending in the previous year. For example, due to the delay in the construction of the provincial archive repository, funds amounting to 138.411 million rand were forfeited from the 2019-2020 budget, which is also a concern to us. We hope that there will not be questionable service providers who might jeopardize this project this time around. In addition, the feasibility studies for the construction of the Art and the Culture Academy and Archives repository were not conducted. Further, the department underspent by 15.447 million rand in 2018-2019, mainly as a result of the department withholding transfers to organizations, art councils, and the Rocks Reef Art Center. Furthermore, the department underspent by 36.602 million rand in 2019-2020, of which 28.830 million rand was in respect of the Community Library Services Grant. The culture of underspending and underspending in this program should be done away with once and for all. It has been an ongoing problem for many years. More libraries must be built. We urge the Honorable MEC to urgently address the chronic culture of overall underspending in this department. Also, filling vacant posts will assist the department to fill its mandate diligently. We note the amount of 10.872 million rand for cultural affairs for 2022-23. The IFP commends the department for always supporting traditional events such as Umkhosi Umhlanga and others. Umkhosi Umhlanga, revived by His Majesty, the King and his traditional Prime Minister, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, has become one of the biggest events on the country's heritage events calendar. Umkhosi Weshwama and other commemorations of our Zulu culture and heritage bear the same significance. These are what have made us and will continue to make us the people that we are in our country. The Zulu nation today is the envy of not just other nations in South Africa and Africa, but it is the envy of many around the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has a devastating impact on the South African sports, arts, culture, and heritage sector. People in the sector have been losing sleep and have had much higher levels of anxiety due to how the pandemic has affected their personal finances and uncertainty about the future. As the IP, we want to know how the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture intends to assist the artists. There must be transparency when financial assistance is offered. Sports, arts, and culture strengthening social cohesion through the removal of the barriers that seemingly hinder mutual understanding and communication. The Department of Sports, Arts and Culture must work harder to ensure that all races participate fully in cultural and provincial events. One way to strengthen community cohesion and feelings of becoming is through implementing cultural and art programs. I thank you very much. Can you spare my minutes? for future debate.
Akubekelwana mzala. Thank you, Honorable Member. Mhlonishwa uGwala. Ngicela ukubiza umhlonishwa uTV Qulu for 7 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, our Premier in absentia, honorable members, distinguished guests, sanibonani. Honorable Speaker, masiqale ngokudlulisa amazwi enduduzo kwimindeni yonke lahlekelwe izihlobo nabathandiweyo babo ngenxa yalezi ikhukhula bezihlasela isifundazwe sakithi kwaZulu Natal. Sithi inkosi mayibaqinise kulesikhathi. Honorable Speaker, on the 10th of May was an auspicious day as the first democratically elected president took the oath at the Union Building, our own President Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Honorable Speaker, allow me ukuthi ngithi kuya kancane ku Honorable Singh. I wanted to remind him, you can't invite us to Cape Town. We have honorable members who are females. Cape Town is not safe for females these days because of one of your MEC. Honorable Speaker, Department of Sports and Recreation has done a tremendous work on uplifting our sports in our province. The mass participation program, the main focus of this program is to unearth sporting talent and to use sports as a means to achieve social and human development goals. It has also recognized the value of the mass participation program as a tool for development. Also supported the programs to use sport and recreation as means of empowerment and development of our society. It also funds all sports federations in our province, but only those with proper governance and registration get their funding transferred. But those who are still struggling with their governance structures are not left out. They get supported with goods and services. Qualifying sports academies are also funded, but must be properly registered with all their relevant authorities. All our KZN PSL teams are supported through Premier's Cup, which takes place every year before the season starts. This is a very good initiative for our teams, also to able to see their readiness before the start of the new season. The few funded programs, it's KZN Sports Awards, SA Sports Award, KZN Youth Run, KZN Premier's Cup, just to name the few. On the ward-based program initiatives, all wards-based programs are also supported in all sports codes and also department in supporting our sports legends of our province by introducing the program One Ward, One Legend. Yes, it did not cover all wards due to budget constraints, but did very well in our communities. And all those participated legends appreciated the program. But kuba ngqongqoshe engathi ungathi chatha ngaphezulu kulonyaka. Ibalekelele kakhulu nangokuxosha ikati eziko kumakhaya abo. On recreational facilities, let's also appreciate the MOA between the department and the municipalities on issues of maintenance of our recreational facilities. With this MOA, municipalities must submit monthly reports to the department regarding the utilization of the grant, do all such things necessary to ensure the successful operation and maintenance of the facilities. It's been a serious challenge over the past decade where sports facilities left without proper plan of maintenance. Honorable Speaker, the absence of sports and recreation facilities in these disadvantaged communities must be ranked as one of the cruelest legacies of apartheid. Sports continues to be shortchanged with regards to the allocation of resources, all because of lack of knowledge of those at the decision-making level. The role of sports in our society as well as an instrument of transformation, let's place sports in the forefront of efforts to reduce the level of crime in our society. There's also an outcry out there, Honorable MEC, that some sports codes feel a bit neglected, like fishing, your golf, your bowling, just to add in our sports activities. Honorable Speaker, to our affected communities and our KZN legislature led by our Honorable Premier Kzn, ngifuna ukuthi even after the storms, the sun will shine again. And now, Honorable Speaker, Department of Sports and Recreation, I'm happy to hear especially Honorable Kaula and all other honorable members spoke before me. Yes, indeed. Sports and Recreation led by honorable members who are female and they did very well. With Dr. Sifunda, our honorable chairperson, Honorable Mapena, our MEC, we want to salute you. The energy you shown in this department, we wish if all others can learn from you. You've shown a lot of energy in this, and then I'm happy all majority of our community members believe in the good work that we have done. And also MEC, I agree with you. The issue of transformation in rugby, your cycling and cricket still needs a lot of work, still need to be done. I agree. And also, I want to also agree that we are indeed a very active province. When I look at your report, indeed, we are a very active province in sport. On a lighter note, Honorable MEC, I liked your speech when you were about to close. You only missed one person to thank, husband. And also, I want us also to appreciate, thank you to Honorable Mpepetwa. Let's appreciate the Tondota project. We thank you.
Siyabonga kakhulu mhlonishwa TV Qulu. Ngicela abahlonishwa ngapha esandleni sami sokunxele bayiphathe kahle. Mabethu uyazingela ngazi kusho ukuthini. Ngicela ukubiza umhlonishwa HGS Mavimbela. Ngicela usondele uzophendula dadewethu. Ungabaphenduli kuleli lokuzingela.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me help my whip, Honorable Kabashe, and thank my husband, Dima Somlembelele Wamanzuza. I think we are happy now. Now you know there is a husband. I'm no longer hunting. Thank you very much, honorable members. Let me first thank both my chairpersons, Honorable Mapena and Honorable Dube, for always guiding us as the department in sharing the two departments and also providing constructive debate when we are meeting with them. We really appreciate your guidance, your leadership. It's applauded, my chairpersons. We are what we are because of your leadership and guidance. Thank you very much to all the honorable members that have made their way to the podium and debated on the budget vote 10. And we appreciate all your inputs. They mean a lot to us. And I'm going to cite honorable members that have assisted me in terms of responding in some of the issues that I'm no longer going to respond to. Honorable Ndosi, you made my life very easy because uqinisekisile ukuthi ebengushiyile because isikhathi was limited in terms of aligning the programs of the departments and also the budget that are allocated. Uyangena kona ukuze abantu bakwaZulu Natal bazi ukuthi senzani njengomnyango wezemidlalo nezobuciko nobuciko esifundazweni sakithi. Thank you very much for your input. It really means a lot to all of us as the department. I'm also wishing the speedy recovery to the acting HOD of the department, Dr. Ndlovu, who is not amongst us today because she is supposed to be here with us. She is not well. That's why she couldn't join us here. And we appreciate amava anawo ukusincedisa ekuthenini siubambe kahle lo msebenzi esiwunikezwe u-African National Congress wokuhlanganisa lama department amabili kube i-department eyodwa. Honorable Kaula, we appreciate your debate and we are excited that you appreciate some of the things that the department have done. And you appreciate the investment the African National Congress that have shown in terms of deploying capable chairperson in the department or in the portfolio committee. So, ungabi namahloni novalo, the African National Congress is going to deploy again a capable chairperson to lead the new department. So, it's the African National Congress that deployed capable leaders. Honorable Kaula, I am the executive coming from the African National Congress. I have to assist you in terms of that.
Kancane nje mhlonishwa. Honorable Kaula, sekusele kancane ngikuxoshe. Ngiyasola ukuthi awuzuphuma wedwa. Honorable members, ngicela niphathe kahle ndedele uMEC ya respond. Ngicela niphathe kahle. Ngicela niphathe kahle.
Honorable Kaula was worried in terms of the new department and the new chairperson. So that's why I'm allaying his fears that the African National Congress will deploy the chairperson that is capable and that is going to lead the department as the Honorable Mapena was doing. So it's the African National Congress that have the capacity to do that. I think it's important to clarify that. Honorable Singh, we appreciate your debate. As much as I don't think the word honorable, kufanele ngilisho nakuwe, kodwa ke respecting the rules of the house, I'm saying Honorable Singh. Because when you are debating, we are not showing that you are honorable. First of all, I could not expatiate on issues that are before the court because I'm not the police. So you decided to go to the police to open the cases, then you come to the legislature to make presentation about the allegations that are not founded, whereas you have all the opportunity to engage the department and get the correct information of the things that you want to know. So I'm not going to respond on some of the things that you are saying, but for the sake of the people of KwaZulu Natal that might be confused in terms of the things that you have raised, let me say some few words on the things that you have raised and give some clarities, because it seems as if you do not listen, you do not learn. Because when you talk about the programs that we were having in different districts, I even mentioned names of people who have recorded in terms of those programs. So you were not listening. So I think even your political party must recall you, not only recall you, and must also give you some assistance in terms of how your health condition is in attending to yourself, because it can't be represented by a person like yourself. I am happy, Honorable Ulu, because you have protected the members of the portfolio committee. I was also shivering when the members of the portfolio committee will be taken to Western Cape, knowing how the Western Cape is dangerous in terms of the women that are deployed in government there. In terms of the magazines that were procured, all the processes, also including the books, all the procurement processes were followed in terms of the SCM policies. So we cannot be guided by your views and what you think it's better to be done when your people are benefiting out of the process. We will follow the procurement processes and will be audited by the Auditor General if the processes that we have followed were not correct. So I don't think you need to mislead this House in terms of the information that we are giving.
Honorable Singh.
In terms of the magazine, we do prepayment. That is the policy, and there is no way of diverting from that policy. We will continue to do things as it's supposed to be done. We really appreciate your debate, Honorable Majola, in applauding the cabinet for being up and down when the people of KwaZulu Natal were devastated by floods. And I think we were doing what we have said before the people of KwaZulu Natal when we have taken the oath, led by the Premier of KwaZulu Natal. So it shows that the African National Congress has the capacity to lead. That's why we are doing that in terms of making sure when our people are in pain, we are with them and providing the assistance that they need. And when they need us most, we are with them. Honorable Hendricks, we really appreciate all your applauds that you have said to us as the department, together with Honorable Mangele when he was presenting the speech of the honorable member ubaba uphakathi. Siyabonga kakhulu, siyathobeka ekuthenini niyawubona umsebenzi esiwenzayo, sizoqhubeka futhi senze kahle. Ngiyacabanga ke Honorable Manqele, because sibe uthunyiwe kuzawufanele thina nani silekelelane ekuthenini ikomiti leli esilibekile okuyilona esilekelela ekushintsheni amagama ezindawo likwazi ukukhulumisana nemiphakathi yethu ekunikezeni ama workshop, so that imiphakathi yethu izoyiletha incomo sikwazi ukushintsha amagama lawa esingawazi ukuthi asho ukuthini, asasho mhlambe esibuyisele emagameni obandlululo, ngoba njenge department ngeke sivele siyoshintsha amagama without the proper processes that have been followed and ama presentation ayiswa ekomitini elifanelekile, the Provincial Geographic Naming Committee. So ngicabanga ukuthi kuyosilekelela lokho. Honorable Swartboy, thank you very much for your contribution in terms of responding in some of the issues that the honorable members have raised, and also talking to the issues ebengiyishiyile and clarifying each and every step of the programs. It shows that you read your documents. When we are meeting with you as the portfolio committee, we are not only sitting there and sitting back, but you read the documents that we are providing to the portfolio committee. That's why we are giving sufficient information before this House. And I applaud the African National Congress for deploying people like yourself in terms of sitting in that particular committee, ngoba uma kuzohlala abantu abangafundi bazokwenza njalo ukuthi sibe silokhu sihlehlele emuva. Siyabonga kakhulu Honorable Swartboy. Honorable Majola, we appreciate also your contribution. Indeed, sicabanga ukuthi as we have signed the MOU with the Department of Education, the challenges in terms of the infrastructure in schools, sizokwazi ukuthi siyixazulule ngoba with the limited budget esinayo, we cannot be in a position yokuthi sakhe ingqalasizinda yezemidlalo kuzo zonke izikole zethu. But we appreciate the commitment that have been made by the Department of Education in making sure that in each and every new school that is going to be built, they will also make sure ukuthi ingqalasizinda ikhona eqinisekisa ukuthi ezemidlalo zikhona. Ikakhulukazi ngoba abantwana bethu akusibona bonke abayela ezikoleni ukuthi bafunde bebezincitha buchopho, kodwa abanye bayela ezikoleni ukuyofunda ukuze balolonge ama-akhono abo bese bekwazi ukuthi bamelele izwe lethu kuzo zonke ezemidlalo ngayo yonke indlela efanelekile. Indeed, the elite program is assisting our province. We are having a number of athletes that have been produced by the elite program. We will continue working with the elite program so that we make sure ukuthi our athletes aya excella ngoba iKwaZulu Natal in each and every team esinayo eSouth Africa that represent the country, there are representatives from KwaZulu Natal and abanye bawumthelela wale elite program. Honorable members, thank you very much for your robust debate. Hopefully, as we are merging, and I just want to emphasize, no employee is going to lose the job as we are merging the two departments. We want to assure you. And in terms of filling of the vacancies in the department, we cannot fill the vacancies in the department before placing and matching all the employees that we are having in the department as we are merging the department. And I just want to assure honorable members that as we are merging the department, ayikho i-department edliwa ngenye. Saka i-department entsha, sport, art and recreation, esipresenta i-budget yakhe namhlanje, esiubiza ngo-vote 10. So I just want to allay your fears in saying, kusho ukuthi kukhona abanye abazocindezeleka abanye kube njani. Indeed, program 1 udila nge-administration, and some of the honorable members were alluding to the fact that you cannot have 2 CFOs, you cannot have the 2 HRs, you cannot have 2 HODs, but some of the programs will not be affected in terms of the merger of the departments. Yes, we agree with honorable members that we are having the limited budget, but we understand the financial constraints that we are having as the province of KwaZulu Natal. That's why we are saying we are going to deliver with the limited resources that we are having in prioritizing izidingo zabantu besifundazwe sakwaZulu Natal, eqinisekiseni ukuthi nasekhoneni le indawo zakithi zasemakhaya siyafinyelela ekuthenini basizakale singakhaliswa ukuthi ibudget incane. I'm happy honorable Swartboy have noticed ukuthi program 4 kunokuthi inciphi imali yakhona kuthe ukuthi thuthu okuzokwazi ukusilekelela in terms of the programs ezidila nezinto zakwasport going forward. So in other words, by merging the departments, it assisting us to complement each other, because you cannot divorce sport from art, because those two are identically twins. So when we are merging, we are making our life very easy so that we will deliver to the people of KwaZulu Natal. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, for the opportunity that have been given to us to present the budget and also respond to the issues that have been raised by honorable members. Ngiyabonga kakhulu kubona bonke abakhulumile benza ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi siyoqinisekisa ukuthi la ukusilela khona ngemuva sigcwalisekise kume ngendlela efanelekile. Ngiyabonga kakhulu once more to the African National Congress. Thank you very much.
Sabonga kakhulu, Honorable MEC. We have come to the end of the debate on vote 10. You are all invited for lunch. We will come back at 1 o'clock. Siyabonga kakhulu malunga hloniphekile.